All right, so in one of my last videos, I talked about how we were just kind of getting the client, helping the client make the right choice on the flooring. So this is typically what a sample board looks like. That's a larger sample board. And then there'll be some smaller ones. Different suppliers have different ones. So these are from 12 Oaks, nice size, right? Gives you a good idea. But what you'll notice is that even within that sample board, when you actually lay down the full boards, basically a box comes with about 7 boards in it. But there's a repeat. So they're not like, there's not an unlimited number. There's basically, say, 7 separate boards in the line, but one box could actually have 4 of the same board. That happened to us on a project a couple Christmases ago, which right before Christmas, I think it was we got a box to put down on the client's house, on the floor for the client. And out of the 7 boards in the box, 6 of them were the same. And they all had this really heavy knot in it. It was just it was not a great representation of what the floor was like. So, but you'll notice each one of these has a different style. So Wetland Mist has a nice pattern, but doesn't have a lot of knots. And so there are the boards for it. Same thing over here. This Lemon Tree, this has a little bit more dark to it. So, when you start laying it out in a larger, and also too, the other thing I should mention is that boards are different dimensions. So some are 6 inches wide by, say, 4 feet or 5 feet. They could be 7 inches by 5 feet or 8 by 4 or 5, whatever. And then they all have a different look. They also have a different bevel on the edge. And so all those things affect a floor when it goes down. Now, the thing to remember is that when your floor goes down, it's not like a basketball court where it's like this massive expanse of the same product. When you start putting it, when you get it in, and then you get the furniture in, and so you have carpets and couches and things like that, you don't see it as much, right? It's going to get blocked. Like in a bedroom, for example, you're going to have flooring in here, but then you're going to have a bed and a side table and maybe a carpet and things like that, or dressers. And so that's going to all start to basically block the floor that you put down. So it's easy to get kind of overwhelmed in the selection process because you think oh my God, we got to make this totally right. But there's also the ability when the flooring guys or when the installers are actually putting the floor in, we can make some modifications. We did an engineered floor in a project in the northwest of Calgary 2 years ago, where client paid a lot of money for a really nice product, but there's grades. So there's A, B, C, D. And the further kind of down you go, the more knots you get. But what we were able to do, and what design and Michelle was able to do, is go okay, we saved him a bunch of money by going with a separate grade. But then what we did was we paid our installers just a little bit to sort through the boards. And all the boards that had knots in them, that had this kind of darker knot that was really kind of, it wasn't great. We made sure that went in places like under the dining room table, under the piano, the carpet in the living room, the couch. We knew where the furniture was going, so we could kind of hide the percentage of boards that were not necessarily the highest grade in those areas, so that in the open areas, the floor looked great. And those are just some design decisions that, if your contractor doesn't understand that, then you're kind of going to get stuck with stuff. And we don't want that for you. So again, that's a quality versus schedule thing. It's let's take the time. Let's take the time to do things right. And I can throw my installers some money and say, hey, listen, just take the time to sort through these and let's do it right. The client was ecstatic. Just once it was all done, client was just ecstatic. So yeah, I was pretty happy about that.